yes, broken bowel people. So I'm up in the woods. It's warmer than I thought. Get my sleeves up. I'm just out here making a video for my university exam that I got due on Monday. It's now Saturday. I've done one topic on bowel disease, which is great because that's what it's all about, this page. It's about diverse needs in theatre, so we're going to talk about, like, obviously the role that we have as ODPs in theatre and what the diverse needs are for people who do suffer with bowel disease. And it's interesting. I may chuck in a few slides afterwards, or I'll edit some in to this point so you can just see it. And it talks about the whole holistic approach that ODPs have. It's really interesting. And also I can relate to it. So when people come in for surgery to have their bowels removed, to have stomas formed, or come in for bowel resections, not have stomas formed, but have bowel disease as a result of that disease, they have to have surgery. You know, I'm in the role, so I get to see people come in at their worst, I get to see the surgery, and I get to look after them afterwards. But I can relate to them. It's really helpful when it comes to this. I can really feel, behind them that there's a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress when it comes to surgery. However, that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about the topic of the second diverse need I'm studying, which another one is myself. Oh, there's loads of logs up here. I really want to sit on them to write this content and record it, but I might just go up on a shorter stack so I don't fucking get crushed. Don't climb on the timber stacks. And it says, warning, do not pass. That's fucking boring because this walk's really good. Okay, we'll go back. That's no good. Anyway, I wanted to talk about my rugby career, in which I so greatly miss. And I struggle to watch rugby because I feel like I should be playing still. And every time I turn the TV on, you've got a bunch of boys who I used to play with. Let's rephrase that. Got a bunch of lads on there that I used to play rugby with that were in my sort of, growing up period. And we all played rugby together, and, they carried on and make it internationally, and I find it hard to watch because in terms of the confidence I have and, the belief that I had at the time that I did generally think I could make it regionally and if not internationally at some stage. So it's quite hard to watch. So basically what happened was when I was about 19 or 20 playing for college, and I was getting some really severe back pain, and I was like, what's going on here? And I was getting really bad hamstring pain, really bad glute pain. And one day I was just running, and I was like, fuck, my legs don't work. And I really had really hot hamstrings, really hot glutes, and I couldn't even lift my feet off the floor properly. So I went to sit down, and about a week later, I couldn't even get out of bed, man. I was just like, my legs aren't working properly. What's going on? Had a CT, insert image of said fractured spine. And this is called spondylolisthesis, and it's kind of like an impact fracture or a stress fracture called the Pars defect. Yeah, I was like, shit, I'm 19 and I got fractured back, and I don't know how this has happened. Now, I'm just starting to think now as time goes on, autoimmune diseases, they can cause, so there's osteoporotic areas, and I was thinking, is it that? But I don't know if I had it when I was younger, so I may have been predisposition, let's go with that, of having autoimmune diseases. I don't know. I could have an autoimmune illness when I was younger, I don't know. But anyway, this fucking back injury at 19, had a career lined up in front of me, and I generally thought, I'm in here, like I've got a good career. And nah, it wasn't it. Hurt my back, couldn't run, had a CT, had that fracture, had injections in my back, physio for a few years, about 2 or 3 years out of the game, lost a load of weight. And I was like, it's a struggle. Went back to play rugby for the first time in about 2 or 3 years. I dislocated my shoulder because I just lost a load of mass, and I tried playing like I did before. And I got that dog in me. When it came to rugby, I just loved playing it, and I loved the intensity. I loved getting into people's faces. I loved getting aggro. I loved just getting involved, getting fucking down and dirty with them all. And the best part about it was being like 5'8" and about 70 kilos. You're not huge, and rugby is obviously a big boy sport, but came with an edge where I could beat a lot of players, or I could put in a few good hits, and I would actually people would be surprised that the small guy could put in some hits. But I felt like some sort of massive surge of energy from it, and I fucking loved it. But yeah, since that day, since the career ended, I struggled to watch rugby, and there's a part of me that always wanted to go back. But at 30 now, you've completely passed your prime, and you've not played for about 10 years. It's probably not, or less than that, for about 7 years. It's probably not advisable to go back and play rugby, when you're so under conditioned for it and you've lost that edge. I try sometimes fucking about with a ball in the park, and I'm like, oh yeah, man, I'm rusty. Like the skills are there, but like I reckon if I went back and played, it'd be a shambles. But it's hard to tell because, you know, if you've got bowel disease, which is what this whole page is about, you start to reflect on it and kind of go, oh yeah, about 4 years ago I was really unwell and I thought I was going to like lose my bowel, and yes, it ruined my business through COVID. After that, I then ruined it again because I invested 10 grand into a business mentor, and I thought, let's get this business turned around. I had this real drive to make something of myself, to provide for a family, or to, you know, tell my girlfriend that, like, yeah, fucking reduce your hours in work. You know, I got this. Like, the business is running fine. My friends were doing it, and I was just like, a part of me wanted to cut away from the cloth. That, you know, maybe parts of my family have always just work, and then retire, and then have one house. I don't know. The part of me was real struggling with, I don't know, like the normality of it all, and there's nothing wrong with that. But that was just me. I was gunning for, you know, something more, and I wanted to be more. And rugby gave me that. I was like, you know, I was the guy on the pitch. I was the guy that people were selecting first. I was the guy that people were like, yes, he's on the team. And I was the guy that was like involved in a winning academy. I was the guy involved with winning teams, and it was brilliant. And when I saw like the under-20s, you know, the Welsh under-20s coming up, I was 19 in my prime. I was playing some really good fucking rugby, and I was a competitive player. So it was really hard to look at it and go, well, I've got to take a step back now, you know. I've missed the opportunity. I never got back into it. And I think emotionally I'd checked out because it had happened, and 3 years had gone by. There was something about the career that I didn't see fit anymore. And I think I was too naive and too young to understand that, no, you can come back from this injury and you can really turn this around. You can go back and play. Like, it's not going to end your career, but I think I ended my own career by not being mature and going back to play. Now, I can't sit here and look back at it and go, oh my God, like, I wish I'd have done this, I wish I'd have done that, because there's a lot of things I wish I would have done, and that was changing my mindset. And I think as a result of these things, you kind of build up this resilience, and you kind of build up this picture of how to behave when these things happen. Now, rugby gave me, you know, the sense of achievement, the sense of teamwork, the sense of bonding with people, and you're playing at a really high level, really intensely, and I fucking loved it. But then I let that go, and I started working, and then I ended up, you know, picking up mountain biking. I took that competitively, and I was pretty good at that. I had to turn around because there's like some weird people in the woods, and I don't particularly want to be cut up and cooked in a barbecue out here on my own. So let's just go back to the car, because I've finished my uni content, so I can carry on with this now. Anyway, regardless of that, they can try and catch me if they want. Yeah, so after that, suffered with really bad anxiety, didn't know what to do with myself. I was off work for a while with, like, I was having really severe panic attacks. I didn't know what was going on because I just had nothing, no outlet, nothing. I was like, I didn't even know what I want to do with my life anymore. I tried working in the hospital. I was like, I don't know what's going on. Anyway, fast forward, moved to COVID. Before COVID, I moved to Cardiff. I left my job, and I was like, right, the back injuries fucked everything up. I need to try and find a career change. So I was into my fitness, and I thought I'd be a personal trainer then. Carried on doing it down here. In Cardiff, then moved up to Cardiff. I ended up being like gym manager for like 2 or 3 weeks, where they wouldn't back pay me. So I was working as a manager. And then they were like, oh, we're not paying you for it because the contract's not officially out yet. I was like, okay, fucking bye. And then a load of gypsies stole a load of kit from the gym, and my barbell got nicked. And I spent like a couple of $100 on that as well, just before COVID. I was like, well, this isn't great. And then COVID happened, and then I got diagnosed with bowel disease. And I was like, does the cycle end? Do you know what I mean? I was like, when does it end? You know, I had the injury. I was like, fuck, that's ruined my career. You fast forward 3 or 4 years and you try again. COVID hits, which, you know, difficult enough, but I wasn't ill. I could have managed that because I took everything online. And then like, oh no mate, it's not done yet. Here's some bowel disease to add into the fucking equation. And that happened, I got detrimentally ill and well. Then it kind of got a bit better when I started, you know, starting to settle down a bit, moved out, and I, you know, before, you know, obviously I lost a lot of money through COVID by paying rent and things because I had no work, I had no gym, I had no business platform, nothing. And then moved out, got really ill again, then I got a little bit better, then I invested 10 grand into a business mentor, then I got really unwell, And then I had to shut the doors in the business because I thought the financial stress, people seem to think that running a personal training business is really easy. You're just going to go online, get an Instagram, start coaching people on a platform or off a fucking Excel spreadsheet, and that's your career, that's your money, that's your 10 grand a month. Yeah, no, it's not. There's hours and hours to go into it, and it doesn't stop. It never ends. Like, you're on social media 24/7, you're making content 24/7, you're replying to questions, you're making sure the nutrition's on point, you're making sure people are actually getting results, because a lot of online business is advertising, marketing, emails, accountancy, all of these other bits. But you forget sometimes that you actually have to coach people as well, and it's complex to coach other humans, because what you can see in your head and what they need are two completely different things. On paper, physiologically or scientifically, whatever you want to call it, your methods work. 99% of methods work for the normal person. If you haven't trained before, give it 6 weeks, give it 12 weeks. Any program can make someone lose weight, gain weight, change their body composition, change their mindset. But it gets complex when people start throwing curveballs at you. Oh, I don't want to train this way. I don't want to train that many days. Oh, I haven't eaten well this week. Oh, I haven't listened to the plan this week. And you get frustrated because you're like, dude, my business works. I know my work works. But then you've got to apply it to people. People are complex. And that was one of my downfalls, because I was like, oh, bro, if I can do it, you can do it. But not everyone's the same. Not everyone's cut from the same cloth. And you got to respect that. I think the same can be said for the fucking bowel disease community sometimes. We're not all from the same cloth. If I take great passion in talking on camera, talking about everything that matters to me, how fitness has turned things around for me. You don't know any of this from my previous history, previous career. How rugby was such a big part of my life, and I had massive opportunities to make it. Got offered to go to Bath University to play for the seniors, but ended up going to Cardiff. Another mistake. Should have gone to Bath, because they actually wanted me there, whereas Cardiff were a bit like, oh yeah, you can come down if you want, mate. But then all my friends were in Cardiff. Stupid. After all this, I learned to develop my confidence, learned to develop my emotional intelligence. I've leaned into things this year which are all about me. And I've taken these skills, and it's massively, massively improved my quality of life. And it's massively improved my potential careers in future. I've spent hours learning how to remain calm, not be anxious before tests and exams, to take opportunities when they're there, to network with the right people. It's so important that I've spent the time. I've done public speaking for the first time. It's brilliant. I've taken up a bit of running. I've done competitions, got medals. I want to go back and compete in different sports. I want to push myself to a limit. Oh, a glove. I want to say yes to more things and no to other things. But I wish I had these things back when I was 20, because I think that would have changed my entire perspective, entire career. But also need to learn to not sort of dwell on the past and all that. But yeah, that injury changed fucking the projection or the trajectory of my career and what I actually wanted to get out of it. I was so stoked that I was able to play rugby to that level, but I look back at it now and I struggle to watch it. And then I look at my business and I think, I wish I had it. I do want to do it again. And people are going to say, I know what it is. Oh, another personal trainer just for bowel disease. They're exploiting it. Oh my God, you're exploiting your disease for money. Well, yeah, fucking course I am. Of course I am. Houses are worth 190 to 220,000 pounds for the average decent house. Whereas back then, they were worth about 10 pence. And the living wages aren't going up. So what's the other way to do it? You can't just stop spending money on coffee or food. You've got to make more money. And I've got experience in coaching. I've got experience in how to use it on a platform. I've got experience in how to coach people. And I've also learned along the way in the last 2 or 3 years that I have skills that people can use. Now my business, or the prospect of it that I want to get up to speed with coaching, is going to be all about how to coach people with bowel disease. It's got nothing to do with curing people or making sure that the fuck is in this forest, man. It's not about curing. It's not about somebody looking at it. It's not about somebody looking at it going, oh mate, you're just a fucking influencer. You can't cure the disease. Yeah, I'm fully aware of that. Because like I said, for my diverse need, in the bowel disease one, I watch people get cut open. have their bowels removed, and it scares the shit out of me. But you see it on a daily. I fully understand that you can't cure the disease. Medication needs to work in tandem with holistic approaches, but there's nothing wrong with someone with bowel disease wanting to train and push themselves, to run marathons, to train really hard, to lift heavy weights. We're still people at the end of the day, and we should still all have the same opportunities. And that should never change. So don't let these people who are there barking at people being like, oh, these fitness influencers, whatever. If you haven't tried it, don't knock it. This is quaint. Quintessentially quaint. Lovely. Shouldn't knock it. There's diverse needs, which is what the topic of my essays are, diverse needs. And it's so, when I was reading it, I was like, oh shit, yeah. Diverse wants and needs. These people require different things. If you don't want to do the training, man, don't knock it. Just go do your own thing. There's no point sitting there going like, oh, look at these guys doing all their gym. Yeah, fine. If they fucking want to do it, they can do it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. But don't stand in the middle, slate the other people, whilst you're not trying and focus on your own thing. There's so much of it out there, it's frustrating. And when you look at someone's background as to why they take such great passion into fitness, how much of an impact it's had on their lives, it doesn't matter about the, or the outcomes, it makes you fitter, it makes you healthier. And that's one thing that pisses me off as well, when you have these people who are personal trainers, I'm going to make you fitter, faster and stronger, and the best version of yourself. Are you? I don't think so. But what we can do is we can take the horse to water and improve your concept of training. How to optimize it, how to make sure you can manage your flare-ups, and you can make yourself the best person, not me. You. And that's what's important when it comes to coaching, is being able to draw out that energy and draw out that drive and draw out that character from that person and mould them into somebody they've always wanted to be but didn't know how to get it. That's the hard bit. The coaching's the easy bit in terms of programming. Yeah, you can do your 5x5, your 5-3-1, you can do your progression, you can do your linear progression, you can do your undulating periodization, strength blocks, hybrid blocks. They're easy. It's getting someone to do it and understand why they're doing it. That's what's hard. And getting somebody to, on the dark days, get out of bed. On the dark days, go to the gym and get it done. Remind them why they're doing it and show that they're more resilient than what they think they are. That's the hard bit. And that's what I've learned over the years, to be resilient. Well, we're nearing the end of the walk. I've got my assignment recorded. I may have to add a bit more in case I've forgotten to say a few things. That's fine. But yeah, from injury, a fractured back, which doesn't help, to suffering with really bad anxiety, not being able to make decisions, to trying to be a personal trainer, make a career, change career pathway, entrepreneurial. I kind of like that vibe, and then falling ill again through COVID, which cost thousands, man. My house deposit gone, my investments all gone, the business that I wanted to make it work gone, and I just it was awful. And then I had to go back to work in the NHS, but now I'm in uni and I'm doing pretty well. So I've had a bit of an eye opener, being like, I'm just gonna get uni done, qualify, and in tandem I'm going to work on things to try and get my business to run alongside it, get some long form stuff done, get on YouTube, Instagram more, and get some easier accessible things for people. Not necessarily one-to-one just yet because I'm bogged down with assignments and stuff, but that'll come. This lighting's going to be awful, but I am back in the car. Battery's a bit flat as well, let's get rid of this. Let's have a little recap in the car, shall we? Oh yeah. Okay, oh shit, knocked my camera. Yeah, so that's that. Fucking a lot of things can happen in a short space of time, but you just learn to bounce back from it, become resilient, Just sort of play the victim mentality, and you can accept the fact that you're unwell, you can accept the fact that things have gone wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with feeling the feeling, but I think it's important to kind of accept what is and move forward from there and use it as a lesson, I still struggle with the rugby side of things. I still struggle with the businessy side of things, and I'm doing uni now, which will give me a good wage at the end of it, I guess, and a bit of consistency. But all of my 20s have been very negative, very difficult experiences. But the point of it is, everybody has these experiences. Nobody's perfect. Everybody's got problems, and whether mine are very complex in terms of the care I need now, very individual. Somebody else out there has got their own issues, and there's a frequent saying of that you would, if you put all your problems in the middle of a table, you would take yours back over anybody else's, and it is true. It's given me character, and it's given me a pathway to this point. I wouldn't get to this point if none of it had happened. So being able to go to uni and do public speaking has massively helped with my my confidence, and people actually want me to be there. They've invited me there, which is cool. It's given me confidence in my presentations. It's given me confidence in my ability to talk on camera and get my point across. But the rugby side of things, I struggle with, because I always wanted to be that person. Businessy side of things, I struggle with because I wanted to make the money and cut away from the normality of things, and I wanted to be the one to kind of be like, make the business work for me, which is always hard, but now I'm kind of like, I'll take the safety of a wage and try and work on things around that, but that takes time. Anyway, that's just me, a little bit of a storytelling one, this one, but I do want to make more long form content. Anyway, stick around, I'll get some more done now that I've got a bit of time off. Anyway, until next time.